Welcome to a new episode of Married to the Moon, where science, as represented by the moon, and faith, represented by the Virgin Mary, come together for true human progress. Today I will talk about Facebook and the many social problems, especially divisiveness, that all social media is spawning against all expectations. Taking a first cue from the classic sci-fi movie 2001, A Space Odyssey, where the artificially intelligent computer HAL kills the astronauts he was supposed to help because he's told to lie to them about the nature of the mission, and a second cue from my medieval Franciscan spirituality, where I learned that materialism is a lie, in that it will not make us happy and is divisive. I arrive at the insight that the main problem with Facebook is that our new artificial intelligence that runs it is being told to lie by having it promote materialism through commercial advertising. Since spirituality by its definition is the opposite of materialism, this points to a sustainable solution and says so much about the role of spirituality in a modern technological world. To explain this, let me take you on a Franciscan Cyberspace Odyssey. So this is a profound subject and takes much more than 5 minutes to flesh out. Therefore, this video will only provide a quick summary to whet your appetite for the more in-depth 55-minute version in the link in the description below. Please note I use the name Facebook interchangeably with social media in general to make things easier, and it rhymes with a 5-minute, Franciscan, and fix. Okay, so give this friar 5 minutes and fasten your seatbelts for this quick odyssey through Facebook and Franciscan cyberspace. We know materialism and its promise of finding happiness in things is a lie because we have so much more material wealth than any previous generation. Yet it has not made us happy, but instead causes many problems. These problems include pollution, moral decadence, debt, bad health, family breakdown, and inequality of wealth. Further, all these are hot-button issues that fuel division between the left and the right. As such, materialism leads to division. By having our powerful artificial intelligence tell this lie of materialism, we are amplifying these divisive effects. Experts have recognized this amplification where social media, in an attempt to display more ads by keeping users on their site longer, feeds them content that gets progressively more extreme, whether left-wing or right-wing, according to their disposition. This divides our society and suggests that the artificial intelligence behind Facebook has indirectly stumbled upon the connection between materialism and divisiveness, but in reverse. Instead of materialism leading to division, divisive content is actively used to display a higher number of materialistic ads, starting a vicious cycle. I contend that Facebook's artificial intelligence has more fully recognized and exploited this inherent connection than is realized. By presenting the above-mentioned divisive extremist content, again whether right or left, it induces the user to puff themselves up as being superior to others. They then feel justified in helping themselves to all the delightful, self-indulgent things that are advertised and appeal to pride. As such, it directly stokes materialism in the users, making them more willing to click on the ads, which increases the critical click-through rate, thus greatly supercharging the vicious cycle of materialism. As a result, just as in the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey, by having our new artificial intelligence tell a lie, we are corrupting it along with the social media it runs, so that it divides and destroys the very social fabric it was meant to build up. This is particularly scary since Facebook's computers are so intimately attached to the internet, much like the one from that other movie. However, spotlighting Facebook's problematic use of extreme content to increase ad click-through rate also suggests a powerful solution: charitable advertising. By having Facebook focus on charitable advertising, which is the exact opposite of commercial advertising, selfless versus selfish, then when the artificial intelligence employs the same content strategy, it will start feeding users moderate, unitive content that builds up compassion and so unifies and builds up society in order to get people to selflessly click on such ads to help others. This suggests that there is also a link between the opposite of materialism and division. that is just as strong as the other, forming a virtuous cycle to counteract the vicious one. Here's a table of these relationships. However, since there are currently at least 5 times more commercial ads compared to charitable, some serious rebalancing is needed. Since all social media and even the older mass media share the same problems with Facebook, this rebalancing should be done on at least a national level and involve all media. To reduce commercial advertising, a big tax on advertising could be added, which would not affect charities since they are tax exempt. Then increase the tax incentives like tax breaks and the ease of participating in them for donating to charity. This will enable people to give much more to charities, which will enable the charities to match the now reduced commercial advertising. Not only will this rebalancing restore compassion for others as the algorithms at Facebook feed us unitive content to get us in the mood to click on more ads for charity, it will also open up a new avenue for wealth redistribution in a voluntary, thus sustainable way through strengthened charities. As a consequence, it will also help reduce the growing inequality of wealth due to job loss from automation, also brought about by artificial intelligence. Since many of our left versus right as well as racial tensions in today's world are rooted in this unfair inequality of wealth, this is a truly practical road to long-term unity and peace. Again, the fact that even artificial intelligence has made the connection between materialism and division confirms that it is real and central to our modern polarization. And that its opposite is a powerful antidote confirms this again. However, by definition, the perfect opposite of materialism is spirituality. Charity towards others is more of an element of spirituality, a journey to unity with our loving God, who is the ultimate other. But the fact that charity is so unitive points to the unitive nature of spirituality in general. That spirituality is unitive is further confirmed when we see that our polarization takes on a religious tone where the right is often called the religious right, focused narrowly on God, and the left is called the secular left, focused narrowly on man. As such, spirituality, which is a unifying relationship between God and man, is the perfect moderating union of these extremes. This aspect of spirituality that unifies God and man is exemplified most clearly in Christianity, where God becomes man. Divinity and humanity come together in the person of Jesus Christ. Therefore, he is spirituality personified. This, in turn, is kept in focus by devotion to Mary, his mother, because this union took place in her womb. Placing our pragmatic, unitive, socio-economic ideas in such a context gives them the vigor of religious convictions in sync with a church that has a history of building long-standing cultures and civilizations. And yes, our arrival back where we started at the heart of my beloved Marian Franciscan Catholic spirituality completes our Franciscan Cyberspace Odyssey. The movie 2001: A Space Odyssey accurately foresaw how our journey into space will be intimately connected to our journey into cyberspace, because computers and robotics will be so helpful in gathering the vast resources of space and assembling them into the large facilities needed to fulfill our sci-fi dreams of building a new space civilization. But as the movie suggests, the dream could become a nightmare if we don't learn to interact with artificial intelligence correctly. And as I've hoped to have conveyed in this little Franciscan Cyberspace Odyssey, this starts by the seemingly small step of not having them tell the lie of materialism. However, this small step, due to its spiritual nature, could be the greatest giant leap for mankind, since the ultimate Odyssey and the key to building a civilization of love is to give priority to our journey to God, who is love, and the beginning and the end of all Odysseys. So that's it for the 5-minute version. To get more details, please view the 55-minute version linked here and in the description below. That one really is 55 minutes. Don't forget to give us a like, leave comments, and subscribe. And please share this with others, including those on the other side of the political divide, since there are so few videos that address these divisions in a hopeful light. And as I say at the end of each video, Ave Maria.